Hey, this is Mike Barnhart with Tops Athletics. I want to talk a little bit about the importance of keeping your shoulders healthy, especially with this front-loaded environment that we work in with our hands always extended out in front of us. A lot of people come to me that have maybe been inactive for a little while and working at desks, so posture has kind of been a situation where that's led them protracted, or even a lot of the athletes that come to me from surfing, paddleboarding, swimmers for triathletes. Everybody comes with those overuse injuries through their shoulder, and so I wanted to take some time and just explain the importance of keeping full mobility and range of motion through your shoulders, and also opening up the front delts and opening up your chest and strengthening up those posterior muscles to keep a balanced kind of push-pull relationship going on with anterior and posterior parts of the body. The video is going to be short. I just want to do firstly range of motion and mobility stuff for shoulders. I'll show you that with a simple lacrosse ball, and then I'm going to show you with a resistance band some strengthening exercises that you can use to engage parts of the parts of your shoulders in lower to mid traps that sometimes become inactive and people become upper trap dominant from whatever type of consistent postural misalignments. And then thirdly, I'm going to take you through some stretches that'll open up the front part of your chest and help you kind of keep that good posture and that balanced kind of look through your shoulders and chest. So stay tuned, hope you enjoy. Alright, for the first exercise we're going to do some shoulder mobility movements. We're going to take this lacrosse ball, we're going to place it right underneath the infraspinatus, which is a small muscle right through here, and lie back on that and go through some internal and external rotation. So internal rotation is pulling here, external rotation is pulling here. You're going to feel a lot more of the tension in that external rotation. Then once we get that loose, trying to get it a full 90 here with our knuckles onto the mat, we're going to do some mobility stuff, just going up and down, trying to keep that shoulder flat on the turf. Place that, bring that infraspinatus, you're going to feel that tender spot. Oh my gosh, there it is. Alright, so now we want to start working. You got some tension in there. Just relax your head. Internal, external rotation, internal, external rotation, internal, external rotation. So we finally started got that a little bit loose. Now just from there, trying to keep that ball underneath the same spot. Extend your arm back, up and down. Good work. Up, down, send it back. And the tighter you are through your shoulders and the more kind of pain you feel through there, that'll let you know where you've kind of already created those imbalances. You'll probably feel some pull through the front delt too, and that's expected. What you want to do is you want to start getting it to where you can more easily take that back and down and go into that full range of motion through the posterior and anterior delt. Next, what we want to do is we want to go through some exercises that we can use to strengthen up those posterior muscles. This is a very light resistance band. This isn't like a necessarily muscle building exercise. It's more of an exercise that you're going to use to get those smaller muscles to fire and engage. What typically tends to happen with a lot of people who have shoulder injuries and they have that upper trap dominance is that this part of their traps does all the work of the entire muscle. So therefore, when they start to elevate through here, they start to feel that impingement through here, and they start to feel that tension through their neck. So what we want to do is use some light resistance so that doesn't happen and we can make the muscles engage that we want to engage. So the first exercise that we're going to do is going to call it a Y. You just take it here, straight arms, just wrap a resistance band around a piece of furniture, whatever you need, and you just want to go into a Y shape. You want to feel this right in between your shoulder blades, below your neck, so not the upper traps, but right there in the mid traps. So you go through about 10 to 15 of those, and then the next exercise into T's, and just pull that right across into the shape of a T. This is a lot of rear delt, posterior delts, and also hitting that middle part of the trap really well. Just give it a pause when you get back there. And then the third exercise is a row. And so what you want to do with the row, you want to keep a neutral stance through here. Pull these in. Make sure that your traps aren't up, but back and relaxed. It's called retracted and compressed. Then you want to pull this thumbs right underneath the chest, extend, and pull. And really focus on getting a deep squeeze through the lower part of your traps. Get those to engage. And what that's going to do is going to allow you to kind of train your body to keep that type of posture versus this type of posture, which is huge. Last exercise that we're going to do is going to do some rotator cuff exercise to strengthen up some of the internal muscles through the shoulder. External rotation, similar like we did on the mat. External rotation, start here. Make sure that elbow is placed firmly down the side, shoulder back and down, and just a small range of motion. You want to go probably about a 6-inch range of motion, making sure that your shoulder's not coming forward. When your shoulder starts to pull forward, you're fatigued, tired, it's time to move on or take a break before you go into a few more reps. Keep that shoulder back, small range of motion, pulling through. You should feel that right in the back of your shoulder. And then the second exercise, we're going to do internal rotation. And you would do internal and external on the same shoulder, but just for ease, I'm going to go ahead and do internal rotation here on this side. And you start same type of mechanics, elbow glued into the side, shoulder back, chest out. Now you're just pulling in, same type of range of motion, not huge, about 6 to 8 inches, pulling in and then out, in, out. And you'll feel that a little more of the anterior through here. Alright, so what I want to do now is I want to just use a doorway and show you some of the stretches that you can do through your shoulders to really help gain some range of motion and lengthen the muscles through this part of your your chest and shoulders, that anterior side, to eventually open up the chest, and then we can strengthen them with the resistance band and kind of pull it back and keep it back. So it's all about posture. It's all about getting that scapular retraction, the scapula open, everything that you do. So the first exercise that you can do, especially if you work at a desk and you're at a desk for hours and hours on end, every couple of hours, or while you're on a conference call, just step up to a door. Simply take a hand on each side of the door, kind of keep that flexed through your elbows. Take a small step forward and just hold that for a good 10-15 breaths, and just squeeze it. You'll feel that stretch through through your front delts and through your chest, and that's what you want. You just want to stretch that out. You can drop your head a little bit and feel the stretch through the traps a little bit also. And then if you find a corner or anything, you can do the same type of stretch to get a little deeper by just extending your arm and wrapping that back, making sure that your shoulder's down and back, and you'll still feel that same type of stretch through the front part of your delt, all the way from the medial side of your delt into your the center of your chest, which is good. Again, you want to hold each of these stretches for about 10 to 15 breaths, 20 to 30 seconds kind of a deal. And then for a posterior stretch, same type of thing, but on the other side, you want to stretch across the back of your shoulder, which will really help too if you have a lot of that tension build up in your neck. Step into a door, go palm out, pull this here, and then step into it, make sure you're down and back, and use this to help you kind of pull a little deeper into the stretch. And even pull your head away from there, play with it a little bit, and you can feel it kind of through your neck, and you can feel it really well across the posterior delt right there. This is a good way to ease some of that tension through the back of your neck and through the rear delts.
The stretch that we want to work on is to activate the serratus, and basically the action of the serratus is to kind of pull your scapula into the body and keep those shoulders back and chest out, which is kind of the theme of what we're trying to do with everything. So to do it, you want to just get on all fours, back nice and flat, and you want to extend your scapula as high as you can, kind of stretch out your traps. And you want to do it to where you feel these muscles kind of engage. The serratus is these muscles kind of look like fingers that connect your lats into your pecs. Then just drop that down, lower your butt, exhale, pull it back up as high as you can, hold it for a couple of breaths, and then back down.